Hello, Joni.
Hello, Chala.
Being with me from your kitchen.
This is the place where lots of the magic happens.
That's right. So, welcome to Polish My Pitch podcast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the timer. We have 5 minutes for the whole show, believe it or not. And I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. So, go for it.
Okay, so I've been at this for 15 years, and I have changed this many times. What I'm currently saying is that one of my greatest passions in life is eating, and one of the things I dislike most in life is cooking. So I started Supper Works to make it as easy as humanly possible to get great food on the table. And that's kind of what I'm saying now.
Right. So when you go to networking events and somebody says, Joni, what is it that you do? How do you say that? What do you say?
I will say it in some sort of a rendition of that. Before I was focusing more on, we do pickup, we do delivery, you can come in store and do sessions. I was getting in too much blabber. And when you start throwing in features, people lose interest. So
right, got it. So do I have your permission to polish?
Please do, because this is what you do.
Yeah. So I really love the fact that you're talking about pain, because as you know, all marketing is rooted around pain. And the fact that you're talking about that you hate cooking, I mean, that is the pain, right? So what I would love to find out though is what is the consequence of hating cooking?
The consequence of hating cooking is you wind up maybe going through the drive-through too often, eating out not because you want to, but because there's no food in the fridge, or just making really bad last-minute food choices.
And what is the consequence of that?
Poor health, feeling crummy.
Yeah. So I would love it if your elevator pitch, as soon as you open your mouth, to hook them, because what you want your elevator pitch to do is to arrest them, right? Is to go, oh my God, I need that woman. So for you to do that, 70% of humans purchase on pain. So I would love it if you would go to the ultimate pain rather than just, I hate the cooking. I want you to take them through a visual journey of the actual pain of what happens when they go through the drive-through a little too often and their health declines. So it could be, and would you have any statistics around it, or would you know any facts or figures around what it causes? Like 3 out of 4 housewives or 3 out of 4 women over 40 are overweight or have heart disease, or and it's because they don't have the time to cook. They don't like to cook, and there's nothing in the house. Is there something like that we could throw?
There will absolutely be something. I don't have it in my off the point of my head right now, but yes, right. Absolutely.
So the other part is, who do you think is the main target that we need to focus on?
When I started the business 15 years ago, it really was moms. It was, and that has really changed. There's a lot more men coming in. There are a lot more seniors. And for a while I was saying, just busy people. But it's not really busy people either. It's people who, for whatever reason, don't always want to do all the work themselves.
They have other priorities. So here's, and about my business, we're in the same, mastermind group. But what I do is we take all the buckets of the people that you could grow the business on. So you mentioned a couple. And we talk to them about their biggest pain and how big of a pain that is. And then we compare them to see what is the purchase intent of all of those groups and who has the biggest pain. Now, if this was a business to business, we would ask them about the pain in terms of cost, dollars. But this is business to consumer. So we ask them in terms of what is the pain in terms of health or in terms of social relationships, whatever they think it's costing them. Or peace of mind or whatever it is. So that is the challenge for you going forward. That's what I would recommend to you. Now, if I had to make it up in the 5 minutes that we have or the 1 minute remaining, I would say, let's feel it out and say, you mentioned seniors, let's say, and seniors gather in lots of places that you could actually go to and you can network. So if you were to meet a senior, you would say to them, and they say, Joni, what is it that you do? It would be so much more effective if you would say, Well, I help seniors who, unfortunately, 3 out of 4 have high blood pressure because they don't want to cook anymore. They're just tired of cooking or whatever their deal is. And
Mhm.
how I help them is through pre-prepared, pre-packaged, whatever. How do you help them? Like, what would you say?
I I have lots of different options for helping them get great food on the table.
So pick the most popular one
The most
that's
popular
for them.
if it's a well senior, it would be pre-prep meals that they can pick up or we can deliver.
There you go. So that's what you would say to them is, did you know what, you guys are in this situation where 3 out of 4 of you don't have the means or the time or the appetite to cook anymore. And it's costing you your health. So that's what I do is I help you with pre-prepared meals right to your door or that you can pick up in your neighborhood to
Mhm.
help you reduce your health risks that happen when you go through the drive-through a little too often.
Mhm.
That makes sense rather than how I hate to cook. You
Well,
take,
that's my pain point, not necessarily someone else's.
yeah, true. I mean, true, understood. But that's why it's so important to look at the market to see which is the bigger crowd who needs you the most, who has the biggest hate on or has the biggest health problem. Like
Yeah.
some people, they just have a health problem.
Mhm.
They like my grandmother, she had high blood pressure and she was blind. So she needed you,
Yeah.
right? So, but we need to find the biggest purchase intent group. Otherwise, you could be talking to tiny little groups and trying to talk to them all at the same time with all of your messaging all at once.
And then it's overwhelming and probably touches nobody. So
Yeah, exactly. Does
yeah,
that help?
that helps a lot.
Well, thank you for doing this, Joni.
Okay, well, you made it fun, and I've got a little bit of work to do.
All right. Talk to you later. Thank you so much.